Here's a few more tips to consider as you work on your watercolor crystals. When you're coloring in each of the edges, try to make sure you're honoring the edges that you drew so that you're not blending across the whole thing with one color. So in each of these different sides of the crystal, even though I'm sticking to one color scheme, I have slightly different variations so I can still see the edges where the crystal faces or facets come together. Then also, when I'm blending with water, I want to make sure I'm blending just one of these at a time, being very careful with it, using just a small amount of water. It's okay if we can still see some of the pencil strokes even, because they give that texture like a real crystal would have. And then if I need to, I can even wash my brush between these facets. Since my color scheme is really pretty similar, I feel like I can potentially blend a few before getting a little more water. As always, I want to work slowly and carefully and do my best work. So I'm really taking my time and trying my hardest. It's okay that this might be a more challenging project than some other ones you've done before, and it's okay for it to turn out in an unexpected way. But we want to keep trying on all the different steps, and even if you have a part of your artwork that you feel like you wish you could change, still keep trying your hardest, because sometimes throughout the process the artwork does change, and you might end up liking it better if you keep on doing your very best work. I think one way to do your best is to go slowly and carefully. Instead of just rushing to get done, really take time to try out each technique and see if you can experiment with different things too. Sometimes art can surprise us, and that's okay. So right now I've worked on blending these few, and it's helping fill in some of these smaller gaps. Although coloring neatly is still something to consider. Since it's watercolor pencil, we don't have to burnish it like we do when we're doing some other colored pencil projects. But I do want to still think about maybe the direction that my pencil lines are going. So in this case, I made a lot of the pencil lines go up and down in the same direction as the crystal to try to really think about that. Just like how I'm thinking about now that I'm blending it, I'm not just putting water everywhere, I'm really doing one little section at a time so that it retains that crystal-like quality. Going slow and careful is another way to do our best. I know it seems like I probably say that a lot, but I've noticed that it's something that is so helpful and so useful, and really it's easy to forget too. Even I want to rush sometimes, but what happens more often when I rush is that I make more mistakes. And so if I slow down, I usually am much more satisfied with the final resulting artwork than if I was just trying to get it done without being my most careful artist self. So I would keep blending each of these. One of the great things about watercolor pencil is that after this dries, if I notice I really want to make a minor change or edit or adjust something, I could even wait until this dries. The next art day, I could go back and I could fill in some of these spots or smooth them out or add more texture. So we have a lot of options within this process.